Hello, my friends. I'm going to give you guys about 30 seconds to join in. We are live streaming to LinkedIn and YouTube simultaneously. So if you want to drop comments in either of those chats, I'll see them on my screen. But I'm going to give you guys just like 30 seconds to join up. And in the meantime, I had a window pop up. Sorry about that. Just getting our technical ducks in a row. All right, let's do our countdown. Hello, and hello to Daniel. We're already getting some folks in the chat, so thank you guys for posting your comments there. I want to bring up the YouTube channel really quick. I'm going to have to mute YouTube. There we go. I just want to make sure I can see your comments in real time here. Okay, excellent. All right, so without further ado, let's get into it. So welcome to Micro-credential Mondays for the month of May. And it is this beautiful May 6th from wherever you're calling in. I hope it's as beautiful as it is here in rootin' tootin' Dallas, Texas, where Micro-credential Multiverse is based. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna just cut to the chase. So my name is Robert Bajor. I'm the founder and CEO of Micro-credential Multiverse. I hold these Micro-credential Mondays on the first Monday of every single month, but you might catch me in the wild talking about things like skills, digital badges, digital wallets, micro-credentials, skills descriptors, and learning pathways, all of the things that generally contribute to a skills-based future of work, these ecosystems that we put together. And in a previous life, I was a professional educator, and I always differentiate these sessions. For the audience that's in the room. So if you want to put your questions in the chat like Daniel did, I'm going to do my best to take a look and keep my eye on all of the different places that you can add those comments. So I'm going to take one more look. All right, cool. And let's move it on along. So first things first, let's talk a little bit about Micro-credential Multiverse. So some of you guys might already know who we are, but if you're new, we unite learning experiences here with career outcomes. And that's really our North Star here at Micro-credential Multiverse. And that is our mission statement. So if it connects and unites learning experiences with career outcomes, then that's exactly what we do here. And Micro-credential Mondays is a very cool initiative, if I do say so myself, in trying to really democratize and demystify this rapidly evolving space that we see on the LinkedIn posts all the time in a way that's just broadly accessible. So there's no price, there's no cost. You can attend any Micro-credential Monday, and all of the previously recorded sessions are available on LinkedIn, YouTube, and our website. So this groundbreaking regular webinar series is really designed to demystify the world of micro-credentials, and we stream live on the first Monday of every month. You might be asking yourself, why live stream and not webinar? Well, when I was coming up with the campaign, I realized I've never looked forward to a webinar. I mean, I love seeing people, I love engaging, especially internally in a lot of the nuts and bolts of this ecosystem. But frankly, live streams are just something I get more excited about. So we decided to go that direction. And if you want more information about Micro-credential Mondays or about Micro-credential Multiverse, you can visit microcredential.info for more info. Isn't that a great domain, by the way? So how do you actually join Micro-credential Mondays? So again, we simulcast, we live stream to LinkedIn and YouTube at the same time. So if you're a LinkedIn person, join there. If you're a YouTube person, join there. And you can enjoy the live stream live, hence the name, Or you can sign up, hit the little attend button or save it, subscribe, all those things, so that when we're finished, you'll get a little notification in your inbox that says, hey, you missed Micro-credential Monday. Here's the link to the recording, all that good stuff. If I had a nickel for every time someone asked me for the recording, it would be a lot easier to bootstrap my own company. So join us each month at 1:00 p.m. Central Time or 2 p.m. if you're on the East Coast, as we kind of explore some of the transformative power of micro-credentials and how innovative organizations are embracing the future of work by building these kinds of ecosystems. So there's a list of all the first Mondays of the month up until December, and then it's 2025. As you can see, we've already done a few of these. And last time around, I was joined by Ian Davidson, the Chief Growth Officer at Smart Resume. Very cool Micro-credential Monday. It was a real joy having him on, and we're grateful. Okay, so first things first, what is a micro-credential? So there are a lot of definitions for micro-credentials, frankly. In fact, there's about 26 good definitions for micro-credentials. And let's just check our comments. Okay, cool. So let me check our comments one more time. Looking good. All right, so what is a micro-credential? So what we basically did was we took these 26 kind of disparate definitions for what a micro-credential is, and we took the best kind of two definitions. And the first one is from Emeritus Professor Beverly Oliver from Deakin University. And that's that first part. So a micro-credential is a certification of assessed learning that is additional, alternate, complementary to, or a formal component of a formal qualification. Try to say that 5 times fast. The second part of the definition is from our friends at UNESCO, and it's a little bit more technical and less logistical. So ownership of the micro-credential is exclusive to the earner. So the earner owns the credential about them. Big surprise. Each of the credentials can be shared, they're portable, and may be combined into larger credentials or qualifications. And this gets to this idea of stackability. Now, all right, we're looking good. Okay, so let's unpack that first part of the definition, right? So that micro-credential is a certification of assessed learning, yada, yada. So there's really 3 key takeaways here. Micro-credentials are short, they're focused, flexible, and accessible knowledge and skills. They're rigorous. They have to be assessed, the skills and competencies associated with them specifically, and they're generally assessed by experts, people with authority to assess and award the credentials. The third is that they are aligned. So micro-credentials specifically are aligned usually with the needs of industry and other outside stakeholders. The reason why I say other outside stakeholders is because sometimes micro-credentials can be entry points to traditional degree pathways, for example. So it's not always about employers, but employers are a big part of the recognizer equation. And I usually use that word recognizer, but you can think of that as shorthand for employers most of the time. The second part of the definition here is that ownership of the micro-credential is exclusive to the earner, yada, yada. This is our UNESCO part of the definition. And I like this part because there are some requirements for micro-credentials, especially those ecosystems that seek to connect with other ecosystems and ensure that learners, when they get their award, can go and take it wherever they might want to take it without getting locked into some kind of technical walled garden, something like that. So there's really 3 components here. One is that the digital badge or micro-credential is portable. So the awards resulting from the successful completion of micro-credentials must be exportable. So if you're building a micro-credentialing platform, if you're a technology provider, pay close attention. Those awards should be exportable and retain all of the original information that was originally baked in or asserted into the credential itself. The second piece is that they are interoperable. So micro-credentials must use some kind of open technology framework like Open Badges 3.0 or the Verifiable Credential Standard, or the there's a whole alphabet soup there of acronyms, but really you're looking for those interoperable technologies to make sure that your digital credentials, again, are not locked into ecosystems and are mobile. The third piece is that they're verifiable. So specifically, independently verifiable. So the credential holder or the earner of the credential can show that credential off when they go in for a job interview, and the employer, recognizer, can verify the authenticity of that credential on the spot. That's the point. So micro-credentials and micro-credential data must be transparent and verifiable by third-party systems that leverage those kinds of open standards that I mentioned before. Okay, why? Why all of these rigorous requirements for the micro-credentials? Well, it's really because micro-credentials do this thing where it connects sort of the skills supply, AKA the learners who are providing the skills, with the employers or the demand for those skills. So when we talk about skills bridges, you might hear people talk about that. You're really building this trustable bridge. Like, why would you go over a bridge if it's rickety? You're not going to want to do that. You're going to want to go over a bridge that is authoritative and verifiable and rigorous, right? So you can literally think of it that way. And when a learner is earning a credential, they're basically saying to the world, I have a particular set of verified skills that I would like to apply professionally towards some end. And we're connecting it on the other side of the skills bridge with the employer, right? And the employer is essentially saying, I need a team member with a specific set of skills to help me grow my business. Okay, so we're really facilitating this conversation as architects of micro-credential ecosystems, or if you're thinking of issuing micro-credentials, you're really kind of facilitating this conversation between these two individuals. And all of those components I mentioned before are critical. Okay, so let me very quickly, let me clear my throat. It is allergy season here in Dallas. Check my comments. Okay, comments are looking good. All right. So let's think about some components that contribute to trust and specifically what makes a micro-credential great. Now, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this slide because you can actually go to the last Micro-credential Monday where we use this as a point of conversation between Ian Davidson and I. And I think that if you really want to go deep on the contents of this slide in particular, that entire live stream goes into this slide specifically. But quickly, when you're creating a micro-credential that's great, not just a micro-credential that checks the boxes, those issuing organizations have really thought about the role of motivation, intrinsic. What drives a learner to choose your micro-credential program over other micro-credential programs? And extrinsic. So what about your brand? What about the signal that your specific micro-credential tells the world is extrinsically motivating learners to earn that award and employers to trust that particular award, right? So that's really the motivation kind of, we'll call it lever, right, that you can pull. Second is currency. Okay, so specifically, does the recognizer, in this case, the employer or the academic institution that accepts the micro-credential in return for some opportunity, do they actually recognize the value and how? So that's where things like transparency and rigor really come in, and it increases what I like to call the credential currency. The third is the rigor itself. So it's another little dial that you can turn on your micro-credentials. Some of them can be less rigorous, things like participation, completion. Things can be more rigorous, things like project-based or evidence-based micro-credentials. You really want to think about what are the rubrics for those experiences look like, and are they transparent? Those things really communicate the rigor of an ecosystem when an employer says, what did you have to do to earn it? And they see this rigorous and aligned set of requirements for a learner to actually earn the award. You can also do things like align your micro-credential to standards or competency frameworks, which also communicate a higher level of rigor. So there's a few things that you can do there. Okay, now to cut to the focus of our little Micro-credential Monday today, and it's also the reason why I don't have a guest today, is because I'm going to spend the rest of the time talking about our new professional services packages. So over the past 2 years or so, I've basically been doing a lot of research, working with clients of all different types from all over the country. And I've really come up with some consulting packages that fit a lot of different use cases. And the idea is to make it as easy as possible for folks to sort of bring their idea to fruition, right? So if you're at the beginning stage and you're coming up with a micro-credential ecosystem for your idea, then we've got packages for that. If you've already got a micro-credential ecosystem and you're thinking about ways to continuously improve it or maybe to augment it in some way, we also come in there. And then finally, we partner with some really great organizations that have multiple large scale ecosystems at play, and they're thinking about refinement and automation and scale. So we've really tailored our professional package service categories to fit all three of those use cases. I'm just going to spend a little bit of time talking about it, but I'm getting to some success stories here. So I'd like to highlight a success story. It's better to show you guys instead of tell you guys. So that's what I'm going to spend the rest of the time here doing. Now, just a reminder, we like to publish out in the open here. So if you haven't visited our resources on our website, we always publish there. We have a YouTube, we have a LinkedIn, we also have a newsletter. And you can't see because it's covered up by the LinkedIn logo, but we have 998 subscribers. So if you are one of the 2 subscribers we still need to get to 1K, the vanity in me wants to just see that 1K, like 1,000, it would be very cool. But 998 other people are already getting this newsletter on a monthly basis, and we go deep on success stories and resources and examples. This isn't a marketing email. This is intended to surface best cases from the ecosystem and make them easy for folks to engage with, just like Micro-credential Monday. So head to LinkedIn, subscribe to Micro-credential Multiverse. That's the name of the newsletter. Subscribe for free and start getting those on a monthly basis. We thought monthly, by the way, was the best cadence because we get so many emails these days. You don't need a weekly. Monthly will suffice. But if you can't get enough and you want more information, feel free to go to microcredential.info and learn more about the consulting packages that I'm going to talk about. You can also take a look at our resources, et cetera, et cetera. Everything is on the web. Okay, I digress. So let's check our comments. Looking good. All right. So over the past 10 years or so, we've worked with hundreds of organizations to develop thousands of micro-credentials that are earned by millions of learners. So we really know what we're talking about, and we've worked with some of the best. This is just kind of a snapshot of some of the folks that we've worked with over that time. So if you have any questions about a particular engagement, please feel free to let me know. And today I'm going to be talking about 3 consulting packages specifically. The first one is Micro-credential Multiverse 0. And the idea of this training package is to engage in an informative expert-led workshop to learn everything you need to know to get started and to get on the same page. The second training package is Core, which is kind of 0 upgraded. And in that training package, we explore every moving part of the skills continuum, which is something that we've published to facilitate conversations about skills-based micro-credentialing ecosystems. So we're going to explore that skills continuum completely. And meanwhile, we're going to develop a personalized strategy to support a shift to a skills-based system. So it's not enough just to sit and learn and get. We're all about doing here. You're going to walk away from Micro-credential Multiverse Core with a personalized strategy so that you can confidently go to market. Now, the third thing that I'm going to talk about today, which I'm really excited to talk about, is our monthly expert consulting package. So the intention of this package is to make it dead simple for people to just get off the ground and start developing their micro-credential ecosystem. So that monthly expert consulting is basically where you're going to get personalized guidance, tailored support, and invaluable insights every month to ensure that your micro-credential ecosystem is successful and positions itself for continuous improvement to meet the needs of your unique community of learners. So that's what that monthly expert consulting is all about. So first, let's talk about 0. This is our smallest training package, but it is very mighty. So the intention is to get everybody on the same page. So this is designed for organizations seeking an introductory exploration of micro-credentials. And the training program really offers a comprehensive strategic overview of successful micro-credential ecosystems out there in the wild and what you can do to leverage some of those best practices. So again, it's not just kind of me talking. It is interactive sessions, workshops, and access to proprietary resources that can get your team on the same page while inspiring the confidence and clarity necessary to initiate and start planning your journey into the world of micro-credentials. So don't go alone. That's what 0's for. Let's take a little bit of a look of what's in the box. So you can get started quickly, jumpstart your micro-credential journey with a high-level strategic overview. This is what we're famous for. We do keynotes, we do all sorts of trainings, and the whole idea is to just move really fast. This is a quick sprint. The second is tailored guidance. So you're going to receive personalized guidance. This is not an asynchronous online course. This is in person, this is expert led, and it's going to prepare you for your shift to skills-based recognition while identifying how micro-credentials can specifically add value to your organization and your learners. The third kind of high level, component of MCM 0 is the interactivity of the sessions themselves. So we don't just talk at you guys, we engage in interactive workshops and sessions that are designed for you to gain the insights and inspiration you need to get your team on the same page, really. And all of the sessions are recorded, all of the materials are personalized, and the sky is the limit. AMA, ask me anything. The fourth piece is access to resources. So there's a reason why our clients succeed, where a lot of programs have really struggled to scale. So when you subscribe to Micro-credential Multiverse 0, you'll get access to valuable proprietary resources, tools, and strategies that will support your unique project. So 0 is the whole kitchen sink and more. But if you think that's a lot, Core is designed to take 0 to the absolute next level. And the success story that I'm going to cover in a moment actually leveraged our Core system to get where they're going. So boldly go. So Core is a training package that expands on the strategy and goes really deep on skills, micro-credentials, and learning pathways. Core also gives you the opportunity to choose your own adventure. So we do a follow-up workshop on a topic of your choosing, whatever makes sense for your organization. Sometimes it's visual design languages, sometimes it's business modeling, sometimes it's conversations around staffing and ROI. Again, sky is the limit for Core. So 0 is intended to get you from 0 to 60. Core gets you the whole way. Just 4 really quick things at a glance. We do a comprehensive exploration, and I'm not going to have the time to go through it today, but on our website, in the consulting packages section, we go really deep on the actual pedagogy and the instructional content, the topic areas, the deliverables, some of the questions you might have there. We really go into detail on our website, so feel free to check that out. The second is that the engaging workshop sessions are our MO. So participating in interactive sessions and discussions that are designed to foster collaboration and discussion within your team is exactly the goal, so that the strategy is uniquely tailored to your use case. The third piece here is that strategic alignment piece. So you're going to want that tailored guidance along the way, especially if you're working through governance policy, what to badge, how to badge, why it's important. You're going to want to get that alignment on your team before you go to market, and that's exactly what we do within the Core program. Finally, are those robust resources. So because we kind of move past the strategy phase in Core, we can go really deep on some of the procedural and sort of the governance stuff that I mentioned before, and we can go really deep. Skills, micro-credentials, learning pathways, and the choose your own adventure in there. So without further ado, let's talk about a success story. Does it work? So I'm going to introduce you to the Technical College System of Georgia. They were one of our first clients, actually, with Micro-credential Multiverse. And the Technical College System of Georgia, formerly known as the Department of Technical and Adult Education, is the state of Georgia government agency that supervises the U.S. state of Georgia's 22 technical colleges. So it's a relatively large technical college network. They also survey the adult literacy program and economic and workforce development programs. So very, very cool stuff happening in Georgia. So what were their key challenges, though? When they came through the door and they asked for our help, what were their priority areas without going into too much detail? The first was really high quality awards. So sharing quality assurance standards across all digital badges and pathways. So this is a unified systems-based approach. This isn't every professor at every college doing their own thing. They want it to go together. They wanted it to be focused. The second piece is they wanted all their awards to be rigorous. So sharing assessment strategies and outcomes for all digital badges and pathways. They also wanted to communicate that rigor, so that information was baked into every single award. The third is they wanted awards that had value. So they wanted to specifically reinforce career and academic outcomes between college issuers. So not every college has a different, value associated with their currency. It's a little bit like the United States before the federal bank, right? Like every state had their own currency. They didn't want that. They wanted a systems approach. The last piece is the verifiability. So notice the alignment with the definition that I went through at the beginning of the live stream, by the way. So digital badges and pathways are all verifiable under the issuing organization. These were their sort of major goals. And our solution, so as you can see, they kind of leveraged the core training package, and they went with some monthly consulting over the course of their development period, facilitated some of those conversations. So weekly meetings, tailored training, strategic documentation, and technical support throughout. So how did it go? They developed a digital badging and learning pathway procedure manual. And this is one of the most comprehensive manuals out there on what to badge and how to do it. We also tailored this for their specific technology stack. So I was told this sits on everybody's desk at the system office. It was like high praise. But let's talk about what's in the manual. So what is badged, what isn't, digital badging principles, definitions, issuer strategy. It's about 50 pages with graphics and examples. So how'd it go? So an ongoing success story coming out of Savannah Tech specifically has been the school's partnership with the Heroes Make America program at nearby Fort Stewart. And the program enjoys a near 100% placement rate, with program graduates earning an average of between $25 and $30 per hour in entry and mid-level roles in the field. So this is an excellent salary, and this is an excellent strategy. Again, 22 issuing organizations. There are 6,840 individual awards oriented along 52 learning pathways. One of them is down there. Very simple. This is just a very simple pathway. They have much more complex ones. But they've awarded 148,955 badges, and they're about to go through another cohort in the coming weeks. So that might double, which is very exciting. But what's more exciting is a quote from someone who actually graduated. So this is a quote from Fernando Gonzalez. You can check this out on the SEC section of TCSG's website, Supporting Community Colleges grant under the Technical College System of Georgia. That's a lot of acronyms. Okay, so we've got our two consulting packages. These are training-oriented programs, but we also have our monthly expert consulting, and this is the best way to just get started, because you'll get that personalized guidance, you'll get that tailored support, and you're going to receive those ongoing insights. And the best part of it is that it starts at $1,000 a month, $1,000. I know that pricing can be a huge barrier for organizations to get started. So we wanted to price this as competitively as humanly possible. And you can always add those training packages later on when you're ready for a more concerted effort. So we don't have time for Q&A today, but some of the questions that you might want to ask me, either over email, we can connect on LinkedIn, is what is the best way to get started? When is the best time to get started? Who primarily purchases these consulting packages? What differentiates Micro-credential Multiverse from our competitors? And how can I manage my subscription? So feel free to send a message through LinkedIn or YouTube. You can send me an email. You can go to our website. You can do smoke signals. There's a million different ways to get in touch with me. Who am I? I'm Robert Bajor. I'm the founder and CEO of Micro-credential Multiverse. And I was really proud today to talk to you about some of our new consulting packages. We're really excited about the work that we're going to be able to do together. And we wanted to make it easier than ever to get started. So I'm going to pivot quickly to our questions to make sure. All right. We got some reposts. Thank you very much. We got some questions. All right. That sounds good. It was really nice chatting with you guys today, and I hope you have an amazing week. If you want to learn more about our consulting packages, visit microcredential.info or microcredentialmultiverse.com, or you can just Google it like everybody else. And I'm really delighted to have connected with you today. So thank you very much for attending, and I'll see you at the next Micro-credential Monday.